Hey guys, Nick here with Packer Performance. Today's tech tip is going to be on clutching. Just the basics. We're simply removing a clutch from a buggy, replacing cam arms, putting it back on the car. But that base knowledge will give you enough knowledge to then go forward and seek out other information if you want to learn how to weight a clutch properly. If you feel like you want to tackle that, I'm gonna give you a heads up, it is a nightmare. You're constantly putting the clutch on, making passes, pulling it off, and then adjusting weights. It does take quite a bit of time, but if you want to tackle that, there's a lot of other resources out there for you. Today, again, is just going to be the basics. Let's go get started. All right, so here we are at the car. What we're working on today isn't an OEM clutch. I don't have any cars in the shop today that have an OEM clutch, so we're going to use what we have. In this case, we're going to be using an STM clutch to replace some cam arms in. Same principles apply, and I'll show you the differences between them. A couple of tools that you will need: an impact. If you have pneumatic, use it. They hit harder. You may need to give it a little bit of love with a 4-pound Sluggo, and then to compress an OEM clutch, we use just a C-clamp. It's pretty easy. I'll show you what you'll do in that case. But I'm gonna get started on pulling this. Oh, and full disclosure, I do not have a camera guy with me, obviously. This is gonna be filmed in selfie mode. Bear with me. Okay, I've gone ahead and went over a couple of steps off camera just to kind of prep us and make it so you don't have to waste your time watching stuff you really don't need to watch. So I've got the OEM clutch spreader on there. You don't necessarily need to remove the belt to get the primary off. I oftentimes don't. I'll show you how you can kind of finagle your primary off of the car without having to remove it, but spreading it and pulling that tension off of the primary is gonna help. So as you can see, that's loose. I'm gonna take the impact here. I'm gonna hit it. If you can't get that bolt to pop after you've hit it a little bit with the impact, that's when the Sluggo comes in. You're just gonna go here and you're gonna give it a little bit of love on the bolt here. Don't get too aggressive with it. You don't want to bend it. That is attached to the crank, and it can result in a lot of other issues. But and there are other videos out there that'll help you with getting off a stuck primary. But don't get too aggressive with it. Check out some of the other videos. You can essentially use grease or water as a hydraulic with a little bit of Teflon on the puller to force that off. Again, a lot of other resources out there. Check those out if you have that problem. Alright, I finally have a cameraman. But as I stated, you can pull the primary off with the belt on. Obviously I have the spreader on, but you're just gonna pull it, bring it in, clear the belt, and then it's free. Alright. Now that the primary is off, we gotta compress the housing to get access to the cam arms. As you can see, I've already done that. There's a lot of clearance in here. STM is thought about their product, and they supply you with these bolt, this nut. You basically crank this down again to compress this housing. If you're using something OEM, a good way of compressing their housing, because they don't come with this tool, is to use a C-clamp. You're basically going to put it here and here, drive it home. It's going to give you the same effect, or even if you lose this tool that STM supplies you with, these C-clamps are a go-to. Now that I've got that compressed, I did go ahead and loosen the bolt here. This is the same as you're going to have on your OEM product. You just basically pull the pin and pull the cam arm out. This is what they look like. Again, putting them back in, same process. Slide the bolt through. You do have to kind of finagle them a little bit, but it comes on in there. One thing to keep in mind when you're doing this to an OEM clutch is on the side of the cam arms right there, you're gonna have guides. And they want to fall off. So when you're pulling them out, make sure you see them. They look like little graphite washers or composite washers. But yeah, Through and through, that's how you pull the cam arms out, compress the housing. You're just gonna reverse the process to get it back on the car. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful. If there's anything else you guys need from us, let us know.